unfortunately, and as he's mentioned, time and time again, we've heard that same line that that he used yesterday, for God's sake. And he's, talking about it being unconscionable that Republicans won't join on to whatever his bill happens to be. And I know that that's got to be hard to walk that fine line, but man, I don't know that when you step over that line, it does you any good. I completely agree with Rick on that. And it's, whoever was in power, I understand that they've got they're on a teeter-totter up there and they're just trying to keep the balance. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that he did himself any favors. Let's get back to some of the stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. LA County's public health director says the county could move into the federal government's high virus activity category for COVID-19 within just a few weeks, possibly by the end of June. That would mean the return of mandatory masks indoors. Now, here's what I was thinking about this when I read this last night. I thought, okay, we go back into mask mandates. Okay. And I'm not debating whether or not it's, health-wise it's an issue. I'm debating what it's going to be like for the people who work in the restaurants and the stores and that kind of thing. Do you remember the blowback that we had, period, over mask mandates? And now people have had time to not wear their masks, and you're going to start telling them to wear their masks again? Oh, I just feel bad for everybody who works in a business. That's all I'm saying. Because here they're going to be thinking, okay, my boss told me I have to enforce this mask mandate. And then you have, Joe Q Public who walks in and is like, you're crazy, I'm not putting a mask back on. I've been walking around without one, and what's changed? I know, I hear this in my head. A man cops say had a gun has been shot in Koreatown. LAPD Captain Aaron Ponce says the department's Force Investigation Division will be doing a lot of work on that case.
Search for video, review the body-worn video by our officers, search for additional witnesses and those witnesses that have been identified.
Ponce says officers were sent to the area of 8th and Berendo about 8:15 in the morning yesterday on a call of an assault with a deadly weapon. He says there are a lot of surveillance cameras in the area where that fatal shooting happened. A Ventura County elementary school has been defaced with graffiti after a local newsletter criticized the school for recognizing the gender of a transgender student. The graffiti said, "Pervs work here." It was discovered in Newberry Park early Friday. School officials say a teacher had recognized the child's pronouns back in January by reading a children's book about a transgender boy called Call Me Max. Officials in Iowa say a service was in session when a shooter attacked people outside a church in Ames.
We have confirmed that there are 3 deceased individuals. One of those individuals we believe to be the shooter.
Story County Sheriff's Captain Nicholas Lenny says the shooter shot and killed himself yesterday. Officials in Texas say 5 people, including 1 adult and 4 minors, has been found dead in Leon County. Texas Department of Criminal Justice Chief Jason Clark says Gonzalo Lopez, who escaped from prison on a bus last month, was the killer.
We've just received information that Gonzalo Lopez has been captured and is deceased.
Clark says Lopez was shot by police south of San Antonio last night. He says he's relieved Lopez will not be able to hurt anyone else. A jury in LA has awarded $440 million in punitive damages to 2 men who claimed they had been forced out of their jobs at SoCal Edison. Their lawyers presented evidence they said showed Edison's South Bay office had a fraternity-like culture in which racial and sexual harassment was widespread. Protesters in downtown LA say they are against a possible drop in solar power initiative.
This man from Pasadena who works in the solar industry says the proposed drop in incentives will seriously hurt the industry.
It's going to vastly reduce the number of companies that are in this space, and there are going to be very few customers that it makes sense to go solar.
Hundreds of people rallied yesterday against proposed changes to solar incentives by state officials. The changes, which were rolled out in December, include lowering the amount of money people get for selling excess energy back to power companies. In downtown LA, Blake Trolley, KFI News.
Well, 2 cats have died in a fire in a pet business in Hollywood. The LA Fire Department says the fire broke out about 6:15 yesterday at Pet Joy on North Virgil Avenue. Investigators say the cause of the fire was electrical. Firefighters rescued 14 pets from the building. The USPS, the mailman, mail person, says more than 5,000 employees have been attacked by dogs last year. LA had 44 reported attacks, making it the fourth worst city for attacks. The stats were released yesterday ahead of the USPS Dog Bite Awareness Week, which starts Sunday. USPS says to protect mail carriers by keeping dogs inside, behind a fence, or even on a leash. And I can't tell you how excited I am about this next one. A Golden Girls pop-up restaurant is coming to Beverly Hills. Woo! Foodies can order Sophia's famous lasagna, meat or vegan, the Dorothy, which is a Miami-style sandwich, Blanche's Georgia-style cookies, Rose on Rosé, and cheesecake. The creator of the pop-up restaurant is also the mastermind behind, Nick Paliochini, I'm going to bring you in here, behind the 90210 Peach Pit Breaking Bad experience.
Oh, I was going to ask. Okay.
Yeah, and the Saved by the Bell, Saved by the Max restaurant. So the Golden Girls Kitchen opens in July. I know we tried our butts off to get into the 90210 one.
We did, yeah.
But this one, I feel like you and I are so passionate about our love for the
we're getting
ladies.
there. I will deck it out. I think we should deck it out now. Do you want to be Sophia? Do you want to be Dorothy? I think we should just dress up and go.
I don't know. You know what? Ooh, here's what I want, Nick Paliochini.
Okay.
I want you to pick who you think of the four I am most like. You talk about a baited question right there.
Yeah, I'm going to give you, you'll be Rose Nyland.
Oh, okay, you know what? Shannon says I am so Rose.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I would agree with Shannon on that, totally. The
Okay,
real
well-
question is, who's Blanche?
Well, that's
Alex,
what I was-
Tyler, or me? Probably me.
Oh,
Let's
I
be
think
real.
being Blanche would be super fun.
Oh, I'm down. Don't
Okay,
don't
you're
get it
Blanche.
wrong.
We're
I
gonna
think
have a
Tyler's
great
going to
time.
be Sophia, because he's snarky.
That's true.
Tyler,
you know
are you
what?
there? No.
Tyler, are you in?
What?
Oh, he's not paying attention.
He's not paying attention.
You're going to be Sophia when we go to the Golden Girls pop-up.
And then Alex can be Dorothy.
Yeah,
I'm
because
down
she
with that.
is. That sounds about right. She's the adult in the room.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we are going to talk with, a little bit later in the show, we've got ABC's entertainment reporter Jason Nathanson coming up. We've got Top Gun Maverick and more. But again, I told you earlier we were going to talk with Aaron Katursky today. We're only 154 days into the year, and we've had over 244 mass shootings in the country. So we'll get into that in a second. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places with our very own Blanche.
Well, my stars, looking at the drive as you're making your way through the Long Beach area. Ongoing problems for you as you make your way 710 North transition to the 91 East. It is a crash involving an overturned Big Rig that's blocking lanes of the connecting roadway. That's going to be a bit of a mess for you. Heading northbound on the 710, coming away from Long Beach Boulevard, heading to the 91. Also seeing a slowdown for you on the eastbound side of the 91 from before Long Beach Boulevard, heading toward the 710. Got an update on this problem or anything else slowing you down? Pound 250 on your cell phone. Keyword KFI traffic. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Paliochini.
There's really no place more exciting to live than Southern California. Whether you're looking for a day at the beach, a hike in the mountains, or my favorite, a trip out to the desert, you're always a quick drive away from an adventure. Wherever you choose to go, make the journey as memorable as the destination in one of 5 SUVs from Volkswagen. Choose from the versatile Tiguan SUV with spacious cargo room, the compact Taos SUV with VW digital cockpit, the all-electric ID4 SUV with intuitive voice control, or the family-friendly Atlas and the stylish Atlas Cross 4 SUVs, recently ranked number 1 and 2 for the lowest cost of maintenance among midsize SUVs. Get started on your next adventure and head to your local Southern California Volkswagen dealer today to get behind the wheel of one of these 5 inspiring SUVs.
Cost of maintenance claim based on the final level analysis of 2022 midsize SUVs performed by Concentric LLC on February 2nd, 2022. Comparison versus Honda Passport and Pilot, Toyota Highlander, and 4Runner in Subaru Ascent and Outback. Assumes 5 years, 75,000 miles of operation. Does not include repair costs.
Sponsored by Allstate. Saving money feels pretty good. Allstate. Better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Hey, this is Lincoln Kennedy, 3-time Pro Bowler. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Blind Stare. The Dodgers shut out the Mets behind another gem from Tony Gonsolin. Game 2 of 4 between the NL leaders is tonight. Los Angeles will send Tyler Anderson to the mound. The Angels draw both games of a doubleheader against the Yankees, stretching their losing streak to 8 games. They visit the Phillies this afternoon. And the Celtics won a gutsy Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Al Horford scored 26 to lead the way. Game 2 is Sunday in the Bay. I'm Misty Jordan.
Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Visit Blindster.com now to save 50% off during their Memorial Day sale. Sale ends soon, so shop today. Blindster.com.
Hey, kiddo, ready to catch that movie?
Almost. Wallet, phone, keys, mask. Yep, all set.
The mask? That's not required, is it?
No, but it's gonna be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
You right. It is open at night. Let me grab mine.
Nice. You passed the vibe check, Dad.
Wearing a mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
If you've listened to Handle on the Law for any length of time, you'll notice that I have never recommended a lemon law lawyer. Never found one I'm comfortable with until now. So let me introduce you to the Knight Law Group. If you've bought or leased a car and gone back repeatedly for a car repair to no avail, you may have a lemon on your hands. And you have rights under the California lemon law. Every year, car manufacturers produce and sell cars that have real problems and you're stuck with them. Well, you can actually do something about it now. Call the Knight Law Group. They can help you get rid of your lemon and get your money back. And you don't pay anything out of pocket. Call for a free consultation. Call the Knight Law Group at 844-43-LEMON, 844-43-LEMON, or visit knightlaw.com. That's Knight with a K, knightlaw.com.
Paid spokesperson. Every case is different. Results vary. Courtesy of Roger Kiernos, Knight Law Group, LLP.
We've got your new AC, and we're ready to install it. Kenny anticipated those supply chain problems. We built a bunch of new ghetto systems before the prices jumped up.
Buy a new ghetto today, and we'll install it tomorrow.
Ghetto, G-O-E-T-T-L.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at Ralph's. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Ralph's app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
And now you'll find more ways to save on your favorites. When you download digital coupons, you can use up to 5 times in one transaction. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Hi, this is Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. I've spent my career designing and building beautiful homes. I'm here on KFI to help you transform your house into a more beautiful home. And while we're at it, build yourself a more beautiful life.
Home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Tomorrow morning at 6 on KFI.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. This is your wake-up call for a Friday. Welcome to it. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Face coverings could soon be mandatory again in LA County. Health Director Barbara Ferrer says at the current pace of people ending up in the hospital with COVID-19, the county could move into the federal government's high virus activity category within a few weeks, maybe by the end of June. That would mean the return of the indoor mask mandate. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has entered its 100th day. The war has no end in sight. After abandoning its assault on Kyiv, Russia focused on gaining control of the territory in the east and south of Ukraine. Russia faces more sanctions from Western countries and a level of resistance by Ukrainians they really didn't anticipate. And Kim Kardashian has asked a prison official in Uvalde, Texas, to temporarily release a man so he can attend his daughter's funeral. It was the dad's 10-year-old daughter who was one of 19 killed in the school shooting last week. Kardashian says the dad is serving a 25-year sentence for a nonviolent drug offense. She says as a parent, the dad deserves to say goodbye to his little girl. Let's talk now with ABC's Aaron Katursky. Aaron, I think that it's just kind of, when I did the numbers last night, or I looked at your numbers last night, I went, wait, what? This is the 154th day of the year, but the shooting at the hospital in Tulsa marked the 244th mass shooting since July 1st. I mean, I literally feel like every day when I walk in now and I look at the file of news that we had, it's like, okay, find the mass shooting of the day and then go on after that.
Well, there have been, as you say, more mass shootings this year than days. And just
since Uvalde in the 9 days. There have been 20 other mass shootings, with 4 or more casualties. So the rate of gun violence has been brisk. The victims are piling up. And you heard President Biden say last night that too many places in America had become killing fields. So he didn't sound terribly optimistic any of his legislative ideas to try and stem the tide would actually go anywhere.
Yeah, I was just talking with your colleague, Rick Klein, about that, and kind of if you do the math, it's not on the president's side in that case. But I want to go back to something that you said. You were talking about 4 or more. We were having this conversation, actually, on the Handle show. We were talking about what constitutes these days a mass shooting. What is the number? So that's the number that it's 4 people have to be killed for it to be considered a mass shooting?
Yeah, and a lot of that occurs, as we've seen, with legal guns, guns purchased legally. Many more of these mass shootings occur with guns that are purchased illegally or obtained illegally. And some of this is just gang violence. Some of it is the lone wolf type shooter, which the FBI says now represents the biggest threat to Americans. And so it's all manner, and it's happening in all kinds of places. It's urban areas, suburban areas, rural areas. No place in America is spared the epidemic.
And I think that even sort of putting a bow on what you and Rick Klein have been talking about is what can Congress actually do? What, if anything, could actually get done? And like we've all been sort of, reading the tea leaves on this one, probably not much, even though President Biden has asked for it. Having said that, you've got states that are already stepping in doing their own reforms because even they are like, I don't expect Congress to do anything about this, so if they don't, I guess we will.
And New York overnight passed 10 different measures, including one that President Biden talked about on the federal level, and that is to raise the age to buy an assault-style rifle from 18 to 21. New York passed that, also to restrict the sale of body armor in the state. The shooter in Buffalo was 18 and wore body armor, so these seem to be in direct response. Other states, and we've seen this come out of Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott has said there's nothing that a gun reform measure could do to have stopped Uvalde. I'm not sure he's right about that, but his preference has been on school safety and hardening schools and doing an evaluation and audit of every school building in the state to see if there's more that could be done to protect kids.
And I know that is an argument that we've heard, that even if all these gun laws are passed, would that have kept anybody safe? Because if somebody is hell-bent on getting a gun, 18, maybe the shooter could have been 16 or whatever, even if that under 21, he would have been able to find it on the black market. I know that that's an argument many people say. So there are a lot of people who look at gun reforms and say, well, that's great, and it's wonderfully symbolic, but is that going to keep me safe? That's the question they ask.
Well, you could try it and see. Yeah. I think that anything's worth trying at this point. We've had enough bloodshed where maybe the country will get to the point where they're willing to try some things, but at the moment, not really. So the focus will be on hardening schools, and I don't know, hardening grocery stores. The country just has to decide how it wants to live, and what's acceptable and what's not. To President Biden, he said, he asked the rhetorical question, how much carnage is the country going to take?
And I do think that is a question. At what point do we look at this number today and say, okay, 244 shootings in 154 days of the year, that is, that's just unfathomable. So now is the time that we do something. I don't know. I don't know where that line is. You would have thought, that maybe it would have been far back, maybe when we hit 100 in whatever. But it's just hard to tell, and I know that people are very concerned about the Second Amendment and their rights, and that's why a lot of people get very upset about any type of reform.
Oh, sure. But I'll leave the Second Amendment discussion to the legal experts and the political discussion to the political experts. But I think some of the ideas do tend to be reactive. In Tulsa, for example, a mandatory waiting period would that have made a difference? Because the shooter there seems to have purchased his AR-15 style rifle the same day that he went in to kill his doctor and 3 others. In Uvalde or in Buffalo, would a raising of the age have made a difference because they were both 18? You could say yes, you could say no, but the amount of gun violence and the amount of guns in the country, I think, is also an interesting statistic. Estimated 400 million guns in circulation. That's more guns than people, and they've become a way to solve disputes that perhaps when there were fewer guns available, people would resolve a different way. I was talking to the district attorney in Manhattan yesterday, and his approach that he's going to try this summer when gun violence usually spikes is to outright pay kids stipends to beautify neighborhoods and locations that have become plagued by gun violence. He says there's research that shows if you say there's been a bunch of gun violence in a park, if you make that park, you spruce up the park, the rate of violence goes down. And he says he's willing to take criminal forfeiture, money seized from criminals, and try that, see if that works.
Okay, that's actually, I like that. I don't know if it'll work, but I like it. It's different, and it's a different approach, and maybe that's what we need more of. Aaron, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again.
Good weekend, Jen. Thanks.
Thanks, you too. See you later. ABC's Aaron Kaczynski. Okay. And at first, I was like, we're going to beautify a park, and that's going to keep gun violence down. Okay. But then, if you think about it, maybe it would. Maybe just having young people, although, here's the deal, are they from that neighborhood, or would you have kids going into that neighborhood who don't live in that neighborhood, and would their parents be okay with that? I don't know. But maybe you put a little more community awareness on an area, you put more eyes on an area, and that might keep gun violence in that area down, because people are looking at that place now. You know what? I don't hate it. Here's the thing. I'm married to a guy from the military, so it's no secret that, we are gun owners. However, I don't want more people shot, So if there's a way that we can curb things, I'm all about it. Anyway, it's just I don't know. It's a sad time in our country. And any time that we can at least mitigate even one of these, I think is worth it. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with ABC's Jason Nathanson. We'll have some fun this weekend because we've got Top Gun Maverick. Okay, that's still expected to be #1. However, could that be devoured by a T-Rex next weekend? That's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm talking about. We'll get to talk with him in just a few minutes. Also, The Boys is coming out. If you're a fan of that show on Hulu, the new season is here. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places with Nick Paleocchini.
Let's take it to the Bloomington and Fontana area, Jen, on the westbound side of the 10. Going to be a busy one for you as you come away from Main Street to Riverside Avenue. As you continue towards Sierra, that's a crash, a couple of cars involved. Definitely seeing a rough go for your drive there. Save a bit of time this morning, or to save a bit of time this morning, you can use Valley Boulevard or Foothill Boulevard to the north of the 10. Both of those are for your surface streets and will definitely parallel the 10, save a bit of time, or 210 westbound. Looks pretty good for your drive right now. Off the 215 as you make way toward the 15. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Paleocchini.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Do you need a new appliance? Well, you have a problem. Serious COVID supply chain delays and price increases. Some brands have gone up over 20%, and you could be waiting 8 months or more for delivery. That's the problem. Here is the solution. WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. WDC saw this all coming. They secured $25 million of inventory before the recent price jumps and before the supply line shut down. So right now, with high prices and long delays everywhere else, WDC has exactly what you need. Plus, free delivery for purchases over $5.99. And here's what we want to hear. Next day delivery to LA, Ventura, and Santa Barbara counties. And you can check inventory in real time right on the WDC website. In times like these, you need more than just an appliance store. You need the experts that I have trusted for years. WDC. To find the WDC nearest you, go to WDCappliances.com, WDCappliances.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. Sunny for your Friday with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches. Mid to upper 70s for Metro LA and OC. Mid-80s to the low 90s for the Inland Empire and the valleys, and then cooler just into the low to mid-80s inland for the rest.